In this week's Torah portion, Bamidbar, we begin the story of the children of Israel's wanderings in the desert. And the coincidence of the Jewish calendar has it that Bamidbar also turns up immediately before Shavuot, when the Torah is given at Mount Sinai. At last week's Rosh Chodesh women's gathering, I was chatting with one of the women who attended. We were doing a project whereby we were recording an experience and understanding of the fire of revelation onto a panel with paint so that we can eventually turn it into a wrapper for the Rosh Chodesh Torah. And she said to me, I'm really not a text person. And this got me thinking, there are many midrashim, many accounts, fictitious accounts about what happened at Sinai. And one of them says that there was an enormous silence, which, by the way, Cantor Aronoff is going to describe when she sings on Shavuot. There was an enormous silence, and then into that silence came the voice of the Holy One, who spoke to each person in their own language. Little children heard the voice of their mother telling them a story. Scholars heard, presumably, a scholarly treatise with footnotes. And I'd like to think that my colleague who doesn't really like text, but who is very engaged with numbers, would have heard the Torah perhaps as an Excel spreadsheet or a sheet of mathematical formulae. The challenge for us as we stand in the desert, I think, is to listen for how the Torah is going to be transmitted to us this week. If we think of it just as a story, I believe we miss the point. If we open our ears and our hearts more to listen for the truth that may be held in the bedtime story if we're little, the poem or the song if we're that way inclined, or the Excel spreadsheet if our language is numbers, then I wonder what we will hear as we stand in the desert this week. That was your Torah in 2.